Welcome back to another episode on my channel, and in today's episode I'm going to be talking about how my team will be lining up for game week 1. I'm also going to be talking about pros and cons for going with or without Erling Haaland or Mo Salah, as I feel those are two very essential players, and I feel like especially Salah, if you think because of the previous results for the Crystal Palace and Liverpool game over the weekend, you feel like you're not confident enough to go with Mo Salah, I would beg to differ. You thought he was playing too wide out and you felt like he might not give you as much FPL points as he did in previous years. I'm going to tell you now that in previous years, this doubt always comes up. And this doubt has always been cleared by the man himself, Mo Salah. He has scored in almost every opening game fixture. The one he didn't score against was against Chelsea I think in 2022-23 season, but prior to that he has scored in almost every fixture, if not assisted as well. So I feel Mo Salah, just without even going into my team, is an essential for me and is someone I'm going to actually take very seriously regardless of the fixture against Newcastle and Arsenal that they have. I'm also going to be talking about Bruno Fernandes and Florian Wirtz. I see that they're in many drafts, and I also see that players are trying to either go for Bruno Fernandes or Florian Wirtz. I'll be going into deep dive into one of them, or both of them, sorry, even though I have one of them in my team. And I'm going to be trying to ask if it's worth the risk, if going for a really strong midfield and not really compromising on defense is the way to go, because we know that there are DEFCON points now, like defensive contributions, where if a defender makes tackles, blocks, interceptions and clearances, if they all accumulate to 10, they get a bonus of extra 2 points. We know that is here now, and we know that it's going to influence the way we actually play the game. So I'm going to be going into a deep dive on that, also trying to make this a short video as well. So stick around and enjoy my team, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe now, as it really helps me a lot. And let's go ahead and see what I've drafted for game week 1. So we know Mo Salah is essential, and probably maybe Cole Palmer at this point, because I don't want to waste your time. So we also know that certain defenders, there's no such thing as an essential defender, at least for me so far in the game. But there are certain things I want to make you consider while you're picking your defenders. At least that was what I did for me. But before we go into the defenders, let's just go and speak about Sales a bit. Not for too long. It was either Sales or Sanchez for me, and I decided to go with Sales because I already have that Cucurella cover up. To be honest, I could still switch to Sanchez, but I feel Forest have a very strong defense, and as you can see, I don't have any Forest defenders. I used to have Nico Williams in there and Milenkovic, but I decided to take them out because I didn't want to focus too much on DEFCON points. I just wanted to focus on attacking minded defenders that have been going for all this while playing FPL. So one thing I want you to consider is having at least one 6 million defender. Trust me, these guys are going to go up in price a lot as the season goes up, or they might actually go down. So the 6 million defender I decided to pick was Cucurella, because Chelsea have a good run of fixtures for the form they are in right now, and I feel like Cucurella actually plays high up the pitch, and I'm not looking for DEFCON. I'm looking for probably an assist or a goal. In their last friendly, he almost got a goal. It got deflected and probably someone else hit it in. If it had gone in, it would have been a totally different condition. Cucurella is a strong defender pick that I would go for. Van de Ven has a very good fixture with Burnley in the first game, and he's very attacking minded as well. Also looking at Thomas Frank and his ideologies he's going to be putting around the team, so I'm expecting good things from him as well. De Kepa is actually a defender that is a hit or miss. As of right now, I think he rotates with someone else in the Brighton team, but over the week I was actually looking at some Brighton stats, and over their last 3 friendly games he has started all of them and finished all of them. De Kepa is actually a player that's actually, because in Brighton they have, like, for their preseason at least, they have 2 teams, like a team A and a team B, and he always stayed on the pitch for both of those teams. The last game that they actually played, he even scored a goal, because the thing is, in the championship he was like the Trent Alexander-Arnold in championship, and this is the Premier League, so we really don't know. I'm really liking him as a pick, and they have Fulham in game week 1, and they also have Everton in their game week 2, so I'm Brighton overall are a very attacking side. So as I said before, I would rather just focus more on attacking returns rather than DEFCON points. That's just the way I want want to play it. One thing I'll just have you consider is the other defenders like Van Dijk, Frimpong. You know, if you're going to be swapping your 6 million player, I really personally am not really so keen on the Liverpool defense right now, because I don't, and it has nothing to do with the fixture against Palace. It's even before then, because I used to have Van Dijk in all of my drafts, but I just wanted attacking returns, and I just want defenders that are going to give me points on attacking returns. So based on the fixtures Chelsea have, Cucurella is the man to go. And on the bench we just have Dogu and Steve. Steve is a Burnley player that is nailed on for 90 minutes, and he rotates really nicely with the Kuiper and probably Dogu as well. Dogu, very attacking, but he's a Man United player and we still don't know what to expect. But what I've been seeing from preseason, and if you watch the Man United preseason games, you will actually agree that Dogu is actually very attacking. He even scored a goal, I think, in one of those preseason games. I apparently was privileged to actually be there to watch. But this is the defense I will be going with, and let's just go into the midfield, the juicy part of the midfield. So my midfield is going to be comprising of Bruno Fernandes, Cole Palmer, Mo Salah, Ismaila Sarr, and Reinders. So let's start with Reinders. So Reinders is not nailed on. I know I've said in the past that at least for your game week 1 team, you want to be picking players that are nailed on, players that are guaranteed to start those games. And I know it's not a knee-jerk reaction, because apparently I used to have Reinders in one of my drafts, and I watched some of his clips in AC Milan. He is a player that actually comes in from deep to score goals, and we also saw in the City's last friendly game, I know he played in the number 10 position in that game, and that's why he was able to find himself in decent areas to score the goal. I also know that because Rodri is out, he's going to be playing in a deeper role. So thing is, in AC Milan he also played in a deeper role and he still managed to score those goals. Yes, I know the Italian league is not the Premier League, but I'm going to be giving him benefit of doubt because I don't like the other options that are available. So there's Anderson from Forest, 5.5, same price, Defcon beast, you know, but he's not really an attacking returns person. And right now I just want to focus on attacking returns. But Anderson is going to play 90 minutes, and he's going to start all the games. So if you're looking for an option, you can actually go there. Drews B. Hall from Chelsea, that just came from Chelsea, he costs 5.0, so he's not even 5.5, so you could be saving some money over there. But personally, I could also go with Harry Wilson, which he had a very fantastic preseason, scored like almost 4 to 5 goals, which is crazy, but that is preseason. But Fulham actually played some decent sides, but I will just stick with Reinders for now. And moving to Ismaila Sarr. Ismaila Sarr is also another player I've always had, well, not always, but I've respected and wanted to put in my drafts. Obviously couldn't afford Eze. When you see my front line, you understand why I couldn't afford Eze. Ismaila Sarr is actually the next best thing, and I know that Palace have, because now they're playing in the Conference League, because Forest are the ones that are going to be playing in the Europa League. They have qualifiers to play in game week, in between game week, after game week 1 and after game week 2 to 3. So that is a worry, but you know Ismaila Sarr is going to be nailed on, and he's a man to be reckoned with. Mo Salah is my captain. Really don't want to talk too much about that. It's just funny how people think Mo Salah is falling off or is dropping off, and people think he's not going to be the same man he was last season. Let me tell you, it's been 3 seasons, at least 3 seasons ago from now. People always have this same perception. They always have this same thing that, oh, he might not drop off, or he might not be that guy. Right now the complaint is that he's playing too wide, or he's not the focal man, like, oh, Florian Wirtz is going to be that man, and this and that and that. Well, let me just tell you that Salah, even if he misses all those, he's still going to be the man on penalties, because they're not going to give up on him that quickly. He's a talisman, and even in that Palace game, there was one ball he played it and he volleyed it, played it straight to the keeper. If that had gone in, I'm pretty sure your opinion on Mo Salah would be very different now. But that's how football works. And if you remember last season, Mo Salah is this type of guy that just gets one chance, one goal. There was a game, like I think Liverpool played, he didn't have a chance throughout the whole first half. Second half, he had 2 chances, and guess what? He had 2 goals. He even had the audacity to even assist in that game. But if you look at the metrics, the stats of that game,
He just had 2 shots, and those 2 shots were the goals. Assisted another one, and that's how he got out with like 13 to 14 points. And if he was your captain, well, you know how that goes. So Mo Salah is nailed on. I'm not even going to be here for anything. Cole Palmer is also nailed on. I'm liking what I'm seeing, even though towards the end of last season he didn't deliver any points. I took him out a long time ago. In like almost 4 to 5 game weeks, his returns were awful, but he has proved himself in the World Cup, in the Club World Cup. Also proved himself a little bit in the friendlies I've seen. He played some free kicks and they hit the post, and he was looking really lively. And this is what you expect from Cole Palmer. He's going to start games, he's on penalties, and he's nailed on to play 90 minutes, and he's their focal man. So Cole Palmer is easy for me. So now my guy Bruno Fernandes, my man and my chairman. Bruno Fernandes for me was a very difficult pick. It's still a pick I might not eventually go with, because my heart actually wants Florian Wirtz, because I know, like, yes, okay, Liverpool have that fixture with Newcastle and Arsenal, but games like that are like games that are open. Nobody's going to be doing a low block or parking the bus. It's going to be open, and it's going to be open for assists and goals. And I know, like, with that price tag, he's going to be starting 90 minutes. And even from what we saw against Palace, he was all over the place. He dropped the assist for Ekitike, and you could see that this is a player that was actually going to be delivering some value in your team if you put him in. I tried to squeeze Bruno Fernandes, have this midfield, probably replace Salah with Florian Wirtz, but it would actually mean that I drop one of the strikers I have, which we will see very soon. And to be honest, I am not ready to do that. So Bruno Fernandes, quickly talking about him, he's on penalties. I know he plays deeper right now, and I know we don't know how Amorim is set up, and I know I'm contradicting myself when I say pick players that are safe. Bruno Fernandes is probably one of the safest players on minutes as far as I'm concerned. Depends, regardless of who Man United sign, at least for now. Bruno Fernandes is starting those games. He's on set pieces and he's playing those penalties, regardless of Sesko or Cunha. However, Sesko coming in, Bruno Fernandes might become even more pivotal. He could assist more goals. And then again, if we're going to factor in DEFCON points, Bruno Fernandes racked up DEFCON points in the last game. I know DEFCON points can only be maximum of 2, but Bruno Fernandes is actually a player that actually gets bonus points a lot. He also will be racking up DEFCON points, and he can also get the odd assist here and there, because you know he's always ready to cross, he's always ready to shoot from outside the box, always ready to take matters into his own hands, because he is the captain. But personally for me, if it was a perfect world fitting Bruno Fernandes and Florian Wirtz, I don't like how the bench looks, I don't like my forward line, but I just like how the team is right now, because even though Palace have some in-between fixtures here and there, I know he's always going to start, and I know he's always going to do something in that front lineup. So I'm happy with the midfield so far, and even if I wanted to do anything, maybe Reinders could go out, but so far I'm still happy with what I have. So going into the attack, we have Watkins and Bowen, and I know what you want to say. It's like you're spending too much money on Bowen, you could downgrade to Mateta, which is another player I personally want, but I just want Bowen. I really don't know how to explain it. I really don't know what to say. I just want Bowen. I just want Bowen in my team. He helped me out a lot last season. He was really pivotal in giving me points, even towards the end of last season. The thing is, even on the final day of FPL, if I had captained Bowen, I would have had more points, but it is what it is, you know. The thing about Bowen again is the fact that he's not actually on penalties, but if West Ham are going to be doing anything, I know Bowen will be involved in that, be it an assist, be it a goal. I just know Bowen is actually the man for stuff like that. So, and I know, like, he's their main man right now on FPL. He's an attacker, so a striker, so I know he's going to be doing good stuff, and I know that price point, a lot of people will not want to go for him, because you can actually compromise and you can build a better team without Bowen. So don't get me wrong, Bowen is actually just a pick I would like for myself, and I'm not trying to go with the template team, so to say. And for Watkins, I really don't need to speak too much about Watkins. He's played 5 games and scored in all of them in the preseason. He's a talisman. He's scored more goals than Erling Haaland in the last 2 seasons. So I don't really need to talk too much about Ollie Watkins. He is a man that has been nailed on in my team from the jump. So basically that's how the team is, and on the side you could also look at some budget picks that would help you actually improve your team, but these are budget picks that should play not most of the time, not entirely, but I feel like you can have them so that I call them enablers, so they enable you have better players on the team. I actually thought about it, like I thought about downgrading like Sales to Verbruggen, that's Brighton's goalkeeper, and also downgrading Bowen, also downgrading Reiners 5.0. That still didn't give me enough money to actually move Sarr to a Florian Wirtz. If I wanted to move Sarr to a Florian Wirtz, that means I now had to start downgrading Kukurea, of which I told you already that you need a 6 million deep goal defender, because you don't want to use 2 substitutions to actually make those moves. For example, if I wanted Frimpong, or if I wanted Van Dijk, or if I wanted Gabriel when Arsenal's fixtures are very good, all I need to do is just one sub, and that's it, because he's the exact price point, except one of them go above in price drastically by like 6.1 or 6.2, which I really doubt. But as of right now, I tried to fit everything, but it's not looking perfect. I actually also like the fact that Dogu is on the bench, because Man United have Fulham in the second game and Burnley in the third one, so they rotate nicely. Those defenders rotate nicely. If I wasn't going to be going for the Kuiper, right, I could also go for Diouf from West Ham. Apparently he's a very good player, running down the flanks like a beast, and I really liked what I saw in the preseason game. So this is my team. This is most likely how it's going to be going. If I'm going to be swapping anything, it's probably the Kuiper, because I told you he rotates with another Brighton defender, but I don't see a reason why he's not going to be starting. I wish I could actually include Florian Wirtz in that midfield. If you can do it. You can actually just go for a Strand Larsen up front. He costs 6.5 million. You could also go for a Welbeck up front. He costs 6.5 million as well, and we know Welbeck is going to start. You can go for João Pedro. João Pedro is a player that I personally, so far so good, I'm adoring him. But the thing with João Pedro is that there's Delap waiting for him on the bench. Delap has been taking 20 minutes from João Pedro's game, and Delap actually now scored in the last game or so. So I mean, like, I'm sure the manager wants to rotate both of them amicably, and right now for my FPL team, I don't need players that will be rotated. I need players that are going to be starting. The only risk in this team, as you can see right in front of you, that I'll be taking is Reinders and the Kuiper, because of Pep Roulette. Pep Guardiola, he can start a different 11 every single game week. So, and I'm not ready for that. But anyways guys, thank you for watching this video so far. If you like what you've seen, like and subscribe, share the video amongst your friends. You can join my mini league, which is, the code is right there on the screen, X44OEM, and let's have fun together. Let's play this game with fun. Let's enjoy FPL. It's been a while and we're finally back, and I'm just happy to be sharing my team with you. You can also follow me on X, which used to be called Twitter, at Faye Talks FPL. I'm going to be dropping updates over there, and yeah, just enjoy the game. Pick players you like. Don't go and pick My United players, because we don't know what they are on about just now. But thanks guys. I wanted to make it short, but here we are. But thank you guys. Bye.